everybody, this is Miss Hamilton and this is our pumpkin investigation. I'm super excited to do this with you guys and it is super fun. So the first thing that we're going to do is we need to weigh our pumpkin. Now lots of people guess different weights of our pumpkin, so let's see how much it weighs. I've got my scale right here from my bathroom. And it says 16.6 pounds. So our pumpkin weighs 16.6 pounds. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we need to measure how tall it is. And we're measuring it in inches, which an inch is about that big. It's about the size of a big Lego. So, let's see, from the bottom to the top. Now since it's curved, it's kind of hard to tell, but it is about, let's see, it is about 11 inches tall. It kind of stops right there. And I'm not measuring the stem because sometimes the stems break off. And then, so it is about 11 inches tall. Now, let's see if it sinks or floats. I'm very interested to see what happens. I've got my big tub of water here and it's super heavy. Let's see if it sinks or floats. Oh! All right. Do you see that? It's not touching the bottom. It is floating. Pumpkins float. So if they fell in the river or the ocean, or if you put them in your bathtub, they would float. Now this is before we've carved it. Now after we've carved it, I don't know if it'll float or not. We're gonna have to see again, but before, while it's still got all the pumpkin guts in it, it is floating, which is super, super cool. So, let me take it out. Now we've got a really, really wet pumpkin, but I've got a lot of paper towels right there, so that's okay. And this is super duper heavy. I don't want to spill water all over the floor. Okay, so we've measured our pumpkin, we've weighed our pumpkin, we've seen if it sinks or floats. The next thing that we need to do is we're gonna get started carving it. Now, when we carve it, we're looking to see how many seeds are in the pumpkin. How many seeds, how many more pumpkins can come out of this one. So if we took the seeds out and we planted them, we want to know how many pumpkins we could plant, basically. So, oh goodness, this is gonna take me a while. All right. I'm gonna get my thing. And remember, don't do this at home unless you have a grown-up with you, because these knives that you use for carving are very, very sharp. So I want to cut around my stem. This top off. Oh, we've got pumpkin guts. Put my stem over there and I'm going to start pulling out these guts to see how many seeds are in our pumpkin. And you know what? I'm just reaching my hand in and I'm going to start pulling. Oh! There are tons of seeds in here, you guys. Look at how many. They're falling everywhere. And they're so slimy, so they're hard to pick up. They just keep slipping out of my hand. All right. Now that I've got all the seeds out, I'm going to count them. And when I count them, you can see how many there are. I mean, there are so many stuck in the slime, in the pumpkin guts is what I like to call it. So we gotta count how many seeds there are. So I'm gonna count by tens. So I'm gonna count 10 and I'm gonna put them in a group, and then we're going to see how many there are. And this is gonna take me a little while. Okay, I'm gonna take my pumpkin and put it over here. Okay, so. In groups of 10. So let's count how many we have now. We have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Okay, now I'm gonna start over. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So that actually means there's 200 because that's the second time we've counted to 100. So since it's the second time, it's 200. So let's count again. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So that's 300, since that's the third time we've counted to tens by 100. And then we've got one pile over here, so that's 10. And then we have one pile of 7. So let's count. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So that means we have 317 seeds in our pumpkin. So that means if we planted all these seeds, we could possibly get 317 pumpkins. Isn't that crazy?